Welcome back, everybody. This is Damionblackgear. We are reviewing the green set portion thingy of the Magic Origins 2015, which is the core set for Magic the Gathering 2015, and the last core set that they are planning to print, at least as of my last reading. The next will all be basically blocks. Hydrate with H2O. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. No, I'm kidding. Let's continue on. Aerial Volley. 3 damage divided. You choose of 1, 2, or 3 creatures with flying. Yay. That's all I have to say about that. Animist Awakening. Reveal top X cards of your library. Put all land cards from among them into the battlefield. Tap the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. Sorcery cards in your graveyard, untap those lands. You know, I don't know how I feel about this card. This card has the ability to be a new Scapeshift in a way. But at the same time, it has the ability to do absolutely nothing at all for you. It just seems like a way to get the lands out of your deck, and that's about it. Like, I don't want to burn my entire turn doing that, unless I'm so far ahead that all I want to do is guarantee that all I draw is gas for the rest of the game, so that if my opponent does magically come back in, that I don't have to worry about them. But it doesn't actually do anything for me. We'll find something to do with it. I know we will. Caustic Caterpillar. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. There we go. Here we have our game winner, everybody. We don't have enough of these effects that are overcosted, undercosted, or in random value locations. This is not anything special. Conclave Naturalists. Enters the battlefield. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. 4/4 for 5. I just want to go out there and say this is kind of hilarious. We have a bad version versus a version that's kind of like, whatever. We're improving. The next one we find should be good. Dawn Gilt Leaf Dane. We have Dane. Reach. Other elves you control. It's a lord. And attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. That's not going to be very helpful, but thank you very much. Why are you legendary? Because it's a pointless thing for you. The Elite. When the Elite enters the battlefield, if you control another elf, put another elf into play. That's not terrible. But I hope that they reprinted Llanowar Elf, or this is going to get really awkward. You're turn 1 trying to do something, and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't have an elf in play. Guess I'm not getting full value from this person. Elemental Bond. Each creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control. Draw a card. Whenever a creature you control with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. 3 power, draw a card. 3 power, draw a card. 4 power, draw a card. 8 power, draw a card. There are no more creatures. Elvish Visionary reprint. I liked this card in a couple of the different things. It's kind of a space filler / blocker / deck thinner. It just kind of does a job, and that's perfectly fine. It gives green a way to draw cards. It's really all it does. I'd rather have Explore, though. Exploration? Explore? It was Explore. Evolutionary Leap. Sacrifice a creature, reveal a top card from your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card in your hand. Rest in your bottom of your library in any order. Doesn't help. Gather the pack. Gatherer in the pack is what I was trying to read, and I knew that wasn't it. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put a creature card from it into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. Or get 2. Yep. I skipped over Gaia's Revenge. He's a reprint. It's a reprint. That thing is a reprint. Can't be the target of spells or abilities. Has haste and can't be, or I'm sorry, non-green, and can't be countered. Non-green spells or abilities. It's pro non-green stuff. Revenge wins games if it hits. Just happens to be that way. Moving on, the Great Aurora. We have our super epic, mythical, even, spell from green. This is not biorhythm. Let's see what it does. Each player shuffles all of his or her hands. Each player shuffles all of his or her hand and all permanents he or she owns in the library, then draws that many cards. Each player may then put any number of land cards. God, I am terrible at this today. From his or her hand onto the battlefield. Exile this. Okay, so basically you shuffle up everything you have. Graveyard, hand, and library. No. Graveyard's left out. You shuffle up your hand and permanents in play. And then you draw cards equal to that total amount, and you can drop all the lands in play. So it basically just resets. It's the start of a combo piece. There's a lot of mana to start a combo piece, but understandable. Warp World did that too, but it put everything into play. Herald of the Pantheon. Enchantment spells cost one less, and you get it's not an enchantress. Even if it's not an enchantress, it's not worth it. Hitchclaw Recluse. It's giant reaching spider. And by giant, I mean 1/4. Honored Hierarch. As long as it's renowned, it can do a mana of any color to your mana pool. You fucking bastards. Okay. Quick lesson in turn time taking. This spell is not usable until turn 3. Why turn 3? Well, it's sick on turn 1. You have no way to make that happen on turn 1 in standard. On turn 2, it has to tap to attack so that it can get renowned. On turn 3, you untap, it's renowned, you have the ability. This is not a good card. Invocation. Each creature you control gets +3/+3 until end of turn and must be blocked if able. Basically, you're guaranteeing kills across the board in limited. In standard, this should be guaranteeing a win if you're playing it, although at 6 mana, that is an extremely overcosted thing. Leaf Glider. 2/1, so it's a pseudo bear, and it's a Llanowar elf. That's about all I got. Llanowar Empath. Enters the battlefield, scry 2, reveal a top card of your library. If it's a creature, put it into your hand. Okay. Good and limited. Not in standard. Seems to be a theme here. Our Hydra for this set is not an X Hydra. What the hell? So, for 3 mana, whenever a player casts a spell, put a counter on it. Okay, fair enough. I can live with that. A player casts a spell, so it is anyone. Hopefully you get this early. That way spells are still being slung left and right, so that way people can stay in the game. And by you casting this, your opponent most likely has to kill it on the spot or deal with the fact that you're going to continue to cast spells, which is going to force them to cast spells. And this thing has trample, so they have to find a kill card for it. I like this card. This card's good. I don't know if it's good enough for standard, though. Like, it makes me feel like it's Fungusaur almost. It's like, you look so good. Your ability is so good. But man, are you shit. Mantle of Webs. Target creature gets giant spider butt, basically. Gets +1/+3 and can block flying. Yay. Why can't this one cantrip? Because that ability is practically useless. Might of the Masses. +1/+1 for each other creature you control. That's our giant growth for the set. I am not impressed. Here's our Nissa Planeswalker. Let's take a look at this one. Alright. Oh, you're an instant at least. Yeah, I'm still not impressed. Huh. When Nissa enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card. What is with this basic thing? Like everything has said basic recently. Reveal it, put it into your hand. Why can't I put it in? Wood elves put stuff on the ground. You're a planeswalker. You can't even beat wood elves. And then shuffle your library. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, exile Nissa, then return it to your battlefield transformed under your owner's control. Okay, 7. 7 is the key card. Alright. Let's see what you got. Reveal the top card. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. Otherwise, just put it into your hand. This is going to be into the hand. You've already ripped 7 lands from your deck. I don't even like. Oh. Put a legendary 4/4 elemental creature token named Asha into the legendary? Why does it have to be a legendary? And her ultimate is basically to Rude Awakening with Entwine. I don't know which one's worse, her or Chandra. Like, at least she can help flip herself. Chandra can flip herself. Chandra has to flip herself. Well, take that back. Chandra needs help to flip herself no matter what. But she can flip herself, or at least help flip herself. But then her abilities are just like, you can make a 4/4 that you can't make any more of. You can look for those things that you've already pulled 7 out of your deck. Or you can hopefully win the game after you've gotten done looking for things. Like, don't get me wrong, I do understand that you get the card if it's not a land, so essentially it's draw 1 every time. But, really? Like, this is what we get. Just saying. Just saying. Let's take a look at her pilgrimage. Search your library for 2 basic forest cards, reveal them, put one into the battlefield tap, and the rest into your hand. It's Kadama's Reach. The spell mastery just says put them both in. Oh, I'm sorry. I figured it said put them both in. Search your library for up to 3 basic forest cards instead of 2. So you get for anti-synergy. Works great to flip her. Doesn't help her out there. Like, don't get me wrong. +1, draw a card. But you have to show. It should just say, draw a card. You may play an additional land this turn. That would be perfectly fine. But the fact that you have to show the card is just like, really? Like, what the fuck? Why? Why am I even doing this? And the fact that you're stuck with a singleton, like, say I've got her at 5 and I just need blockers, and this thing's not going to die, but I need to be able to get 2 blockers into play, and it's like, no. Scry 5, then reveal the top card of your library. It's creature card, draw cards equal to power. Okay. Like, it costs 7, so you probably have enough to gain life and play the next turn, whatever cards you find. So, I guess. Orchard Spirit. Orchard Spirit can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Okay, that's not terrible. It's great and limited. Well, there have been a lot of creatures with flying. And in limited, if you're in green, chances are that you have most of the reach stuff, but everybody else has the flying stuff, except for red. Outland Colossus. Renowned 6. A 6/6 for 5 is still good. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So you are going to constantly kill something every turn until you win the game. Or you lose. Either one. I like that card. That card is good. I think that's actually standard playable. Yeah, that is definitely standard playable. What am I saying I think for? It's just a giant turn to the side guy that kills everything. So I'm still thinking about Nissa here. It's like, really? What happens if they use your little pacifism effect on the legendary creatures? Like, oh yeah, you just had to do that, and now you have to make a whole new one and kill that one. Like, wait, I have to kill it? Why would I want to do that? Disciple. God. Red got hosed on the Planeswalker. Green got hosed on the Planeswalker. Death Touch Renowned. It's got Death Touch. It's a 2/3, so it'll survive a lot of the blocks and attacks. Its Renowned is kind of pointless because if anything's going to block it, it's going to be 2 creatures that are 2/2s anyway, because it's an almost entire format is 2 strength things. So, at least if you block this with this, it'll kill itself. Reclaim. Hey, we can put stuff on top of our library so that other guy that exiles things can be relevant. Rock's Marauders. Trample Renown 2. That's actually really good. This guy is actually better than this guy. Why? Well, simple. Trample. No trample. I will take trample any day of the week over the can't block BS on this. Even having to do the first one at 2. We're already in green. There are pump spells. Vigilance Reach. This is another solid card, by the way. Very, very solid. This one is going to stop attacks and win you games. I would highly recommend drafting this card. Somberwald Alpha. Yep. That is a mouthful for a name. Let's see. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of. That's really nice. And it does it to itself, so when it's blocking, or when it gets blocked, it's a 4/3. Target creature you control gains trample, and it gives trample. This is a good card for limited. Sylvan Messenger. Trample. Sylvan Messenger enters the battlefield. Top 4 cards of your library. All elves go in your hand. Oh, yeah, reprint. Yeah. This is the War Chief. Ringleader. It's the elf ringleader. Timberpack Wolf, I believe, is a reprint. I am almost 100% sure. And it gets +1/+1 for each creature named Timberpack Wolf. Titanic Growth. We have our monstrous growth of this one, our giant growth of this one. The number 2. Alright. Renowned Undercity Troll regenerates. That's not bad at all. Your regeneration cost is a little bit high, though. Valeron Wards. Renowned 2. Whenever a creature you control becomes renowned, draw a card. That's playable. That is playable in green. Don't let anybody lie to you. Drawing cards in green is definitely one of the best things, and 2/4s in greens aren't terrible. So, this guy's, I don't know how many times I'm going to end up seeing him reprinted. I don't even remember when. Vastwood Gorger is, I have reprint vanilla. Vine Snare. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn by creatures with power 4 or less. So your fog for this one is for 4 or less. That's fine. I would have expected that to come from a different set. Something that may have been looking at creatures with power 5 or greater. Just saying. Wild Instincts. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 this turn. It fights a creature an opponent controls. Thank you for specifying that. Now I can't kill my own guy to flip my Liliana. Unless I legitimately have his creature do it. Woodland Bellower. 6/5 for 6. Enters the battlefield. Search for a card for a non-legendary green creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Put it into the battlefield, then shuffle it. This card's awesome. This is a free little guy. Hey, you could play like 2 of these with, what's her name, Nissa, and just ramp up to this, and then just be like, Nissa! And she flips. And I get a legendary guy, so you put 10 damage on the board, but you can never use that legendary guy again. Enemy's Force Mage. Yeva's Force Mage enters the battlefield. Target creature gets +2/+2. Okay. Moving forward. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental creature token 5. Oh man. I was trying to think. I was like, oh man, you could use this with that Aura card, the Great Aurora. But then it hits me. This would go into your deck. Does it go into your deck? All permanents. It's too bad. At least it's a win condition. Destroy target creature with flying. Go ahead and get these. They're just going to be there. This is your Taunting Alpha effect. All creatures able to block it. And can't be countered. Trample 8/8. There you go. That is the green set. I am not thrilled by any of it. Nothing wowed me. If I was looking at color combinations for standard, I would actually build red-white aggro. There was no Wrath effect outside of the -4/-4 for 4 mana from black, but you already have the thing to make it cost 5. And it's not legendary, and that would be the Thalia thingy. Plus you have a recovery mechanism in the form of damage from the enchantment, the cheap seismic assault. So that's where I would start looking if I was going to build a deck so far. We were going to take off, and we will be back with multicolored and artifacts and lands, all that other fun stuff in a little bit. But for now, this is Damionblackgear saying bye-bye.